Hello, 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 and good morning. This is Mr. Melendez, and today we're going to be talking about a lesson of women in World War II. So our focus question for today is what were women's contributions during World War II? In previous lessons, we've learned how in during this time frame, as men are going to the war front, either in Europe fighting against the Nazis, or in the Pacific, in either the Pacific Ocean or Pacific Islands fighting the Japanese, that a majority of men um, volunteer or go into the war and fight. And what is left and what are back home in the home front are women and children, and also men who weren't able to volunteer for specific reasons. We see that in previous lessons that the United States wants everyone that are in the home front who had stayed behind to contribute to the war effort. And contributing to the war effort meant a lot of things. Um, some families went ahead and grew their own food, and they had victory gardens where they were able to grow crops and then use those crops to feed their families. Where farmers were able to grow those particular crops and then send them overseas to the soldiers fighting in the war effort. We also had things like rationing, where the government would give these booklets with like coupons in them, and they would tear out the coupons. And when they go to the store, the rations will allow them to buy only a limited amount of groceries. All right, and that was to in supporting the war effort. That was just to ensure that people weren't um, wasting food or buying too many things. Okay, what we know now is that as a majority of men went overseas, that women were left in the United States, and they needed to step up and kind of take on the roles and jobs that were not traditional to them. A majority of women stayed at home and took care of the home, raised children, but now they're having to step outside the home and get jobs that are not traditional to women, more traditional to men, working in factories and building things for the war effort, working in factories and building airplanes and building tanks and building weapons like machine guns, or maybe making boots or some type of military uniform, in ways that were supporting the war effort and supporting the soldiers that were fighting overseas. So for today's lesson, we're focusing on the New Zealand articles. In the past, you guys have done wonderful work in reading and analyzing these articles. You're doing the same thing today. So when you go into Google Classroom, please click on the Google Doc that I have for you, which is entitled Women in World War II. When you read and analyze the document, continue to scroll down, and you're going to come across the quiz that is accompanied with the article. Answer those questions, and when you are complete, go ahead and submit it. If you have any questions about the article, you're not understanding some part of it, please feel free to email me or visit my office hours or Miss Sonia's office hours. And as always, all right, I'm always available. You can text me or or email me or anything like that. Okay? Or Miss Julia is also available. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I hope you had a wonderful Mother's Day. I hope you gave her something that came from the heart, that was very special, that showed your appreciation for your mom. I did the same thing for my mother. Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the mini lesson. This is Mr. Melendez. I am punching out. Have a good day.